In the love drama directed by a narcissist, they always cast themselves as the all-powerful hunter, while you are the prey, vulnerable, desperate for their attention and love. But what happens when the prey suddenly vanishes from sight, no longer begging or clinging as the script dictates? How will the proud hunter react when the prey dares to break the rules, stripping them of their control? They will be confused and disoriented, as if lost in a maze with no exit. Anger will flare like a raging fire, consuming all rationality and logic. Even deeper, the fear of being abandoned or forgotten will creep into their core, plunging them into a state of panic and despair. Join us as we uncover the surprising and often dramatic reactions of a narcissist when you bravely refused to chase after them. You'll learn how to flip the script, transforming yourself from the weak prey into a confident hunter. Take back control of your life and break free from the toxic cycle of manipulation. Watch the video now to uncover these secrets. One interesting aspect of narcissists is that while they often take the initiative to end relationships on their terms and at a time they deem appropriate, they rarely intend to leave completely. They prefer to keep you around, ensuring they can return to manipulate you whenever they please. When they decide to end things, they simply vanish and block you. No explanations, no goodbyes. They abruptly cut off all communication, block you on every platform, and leave you drowning in unanswered questions and unbearable pain. But don't be surprised if one day they suddenly reappear, acting as if nothing happened. They'll pick up the relationship where it left off, only to disappear again when they get bored. Narcissists love to play the game of cat and mouse, keeping you trapped in a state of limbo where you're never certain what's real and what's not. But when you bravely step out of that toxic cycle, when you no longer care or depend on them, their first reaction will surprise you. They will blame you. In the distorted world of a narcissist, you are seen as a weak, dependent being who cannot exist without their presence. They see themselves as the center of your universe, the sole source of your vitality, a belief that inflates their enormous ego and reinforces their need to control and manipulate you. They crave your pursuit and pleas for their attention, as it not only satisfies their insatiable hunger for admiration, but also gives them a sense of ultimate power. They want to see you grovel at their feet, to prove that they still hold the key to your existence. But when you summon the courage to walk away, refusing dependency and seeking your freedom, the narcissist will feel immense anger and resentment. Your indifference strikes a harsh blow to their fragile ego, leaving them feeling hurt and humiliated. They cannot tolerate that you dared to escape their control, to live a life of independence and happiness without them. Ironically, narcissists derive satisfaction from others' negative reactions. Your anger, frustration, or despair becomes their fuel, feeding their distorted sense of self. Like emotional vampires, they thrive on draining your negative emotions to sustain their fragile ego. So when you remain silent, indifferent, and no longer engage with their antics, you cut off the supply of negative energy they need. Your silence disorients them, leaving them feeling lost, as if an addict deprived of their substance. This pain lingers because they've lost the control they relied upon to regulate their emotions. Instead of confronting these feelings, they start blaming you, claiming you are the cause of their suffering. Despite their lies, contempt, and eventual discard of you, they will position themselves as the victim, feeling wounded because you didn't suffer over them. Narcissists are like shattered mirrors, reflecting only their own image and never acknowledging their flaws. They always seek to blame others, circumstances, or anything but themselves. When faced with pain and hardship, instead of introspection, they lash out at those around them, particularly those closest to them. While a typical person might reflect on their shortcomings and take responsibility for their actions, narcissists refuse to do so. They never admit fault because, in their eyes, they are always right and perfect. This stubbornness and defensiveness make it nearly impossible for them to change or grow. Rather than confront their inner darkness, narcissists prefer to evade accountability and find a scapegoat to blame. More often than not, that scapegoat is you, the person who once loved and trusted them, or anyone else they focus their wrath on during moments of rage. Number 2. They fall into emotional chaos. After placing all the blame on you, narcissists often spiral into a whirlwind of anger, hatred, and a thirst for revenge. Their minds become consumed with dark thoughts and manipulative schemes to drag you back into their world of misery. They may resort to any trick or tactic to suck you back into their life, much like a vacuum cleaner, draining you of all your emotions. This behavior is known as hoovering, a term describing the manipulative tactics narcissists use to regain control and fill the void within them. They'll try to rekindle the relationship with tactics that once worked on you, such as love bombing. If you're unfamiliar, narcissistic relationships often go through 4 main stages: idealization, devaluation, discard, and hoovering. Following this cycle, they employ hoovering as their final strategy. They reignite the honeymoon phase, making you recall their sweet words and gestures from the past. Like skilled actors, they replay the enchanting romance, fooling you into believing they've changed and that the love still exists. When their manipulative plans fail, narcissists may fall into a state of uncontrollable rage, like a cornered wild animal. Their minds become overwhelmed by anger and resentment, burning away any rationality and dragging them deeper into dissatisfaction and emotional instability. Their rage is the clearest sign of their dependence on external validation and admiration. Their fragile ego constantly craves approval and recognition. Even the smallest act of defiance or opposition can trigger an explosive reaction, like a ticking time bomb waiting to detonate. Behind their arrogant and self-assured facade lies a deeply insecure and fragile soul. They fear loneliness, rejection, and being undervalued. To combat these fears, they attempt to control and manipulate others, filling the void within them. When their control efforts fail, their rage acts as a shield, masking the hurt and vulnerability inside. They lash out at others, blame circumstances, and avoid confronting the harsh truth that they are neither perfect nor all-powerful as they imagine themselves to be. Number 3. They feel devalued. Narcissists define their self-worth through the lens of others, your reactions, your pursuit, and your affirmation of their ego. In their world, your existence serves as a mirror reflecting their importance and power. When you refuse to chase them or validate their worth, it's as if you've shattered that mirror. They no longer see themselves as special or admired, and this plunges them into deep insecurity. Your rejection is not just a simple act of cutting ties. To them, it's a profound insult. They interpret it as a declaration that they are no longer valuable, that their allure or power wasn't strong enough to keep you. This deeply wounds their fragile ego, hidden behind layers of arrogance. The fear of being devalued drives them into chaos, and they often respond by trying to reignite your emotions, whether through fake apologies, promises of change, or smear campaigns to diminish you while elevating themselves. Their actions don't stem from genuine change or a desire for reconciliation. Instead, it's a desperate effort to regain their sense of power. When you don't respond, their insecurity only intensifies. But here's the key to remember. Their feelings of worthlessness are not your responsibility. You are not obligated to feed their ego or heal their insecurities by returning to their toxic cycle. Your silence and firm boundaries do more than protect you from their manipulation. They affirm your independence and self-worth. As they wrestle with their fear of losing value, you are reclaiming your confidence, rediscovering peace, and rebuilding the inner strength they could never control. Number 4, they feel compelled to seek new supply. When you cut off contact and refuse to engage with their manipulative tactics, you not only break their dependency on you, but also deprive them of the emotional supply they crave. This leaves them in a state of deep insecurity and drives them to quickly seek new supply to fill the void you've left behind. This compulsion to find new supply is not just a natural reaction to their fear of abandonment, but also a desperate attempt to preserve their self-image. They cannot tolerate the thought of being worthless or incapable of attracting others' attention. As a result, they swiftly turn to seeking new relationships and new targets to manipulate. This often manifests very clearly on social media, where they curate a perfect image, posting intimate photos with a new partner, sharing exciting activities, or flaunting supposed positive changes, all designed to make you feel regret. The purpose of these actions is not only to show they've moved on, but also to hurt you, making you feel as if the failure of the relationship was your fault. They may deliberately recreate things you once wished for but never received, such as a romantic getaway, a meaningful date, or even promises of a future together. This is intended to stir feelings of jealousy and self-doubt in you, making you wonder, was I the problem? But remember, all of this is an illusion, a facade concealing their deep insecurity and emptiness. In their search for new supply, their core behavior does not change. The new person in their life is not part of a genuine relationship, but merely a tool to sustain their sense of power and superiority. They will repeat the same cycle of manipulation, harm, and eventual discard when the new supply no longer satisfies their ego. This is not a sign of growth or maturity, but a clear indication of their dependence and toxic nature. Remember, their quick pursuit of new supply does not reflect your worth or adequacy. It simply proves that they cannot function without someone to control. The more you stand firm and refuse to return, the stronger you prove yourself to be, breaking free from their toxic cycle. Focus on yourself and know that your freedom and peace are things a narcissist can never take from you. Number 5. They are forced to face reality. Your refusal to engage is not just a break in communication, it is a powerful declaration that they no longer have control over you. For a narcissist, control is not just a tool of manipulation, but also a way they define their own worth and power. When you reject their tactics and stand your ground, you force them to confront the harsh truth that they no longer influence your emotions or decisions. This is a severe blow to their fragile ego. This realization sends them into chaos. The sense of failure is unbearable for them because it means they are no longer the center of your world. As a result, they may experience intense negative reactions, ranging from explosive anger and self-pity to a desire for revenge. Their anger often manifests in impulsive actions such as smearing your reputation, spreading rumors, or trying to damage your credibility. At the same time, their self-pity serves as another manipulation tactic to gain sympathy and rally others to their side. However, it is important to remember that these reactions do not stem from genuine emotion or loss, but from a desperate attempt to reclaim the power they once had. They are not grieving the loss of you, they are grieving the loss of control you represented. They do not confront reality by learning or growing. Instead, they deny it or attack you in an effort to protect their fragile ego. Your rejection is the strongest statement you can make that you are no longer under their control. While they struggle to grapple with reality, you are moving closer to true freedom and peace. Remember, their anger or retaliation does not reflect your value, but rather their own powerlessness and weakness. Stay firm and protect your boundaries, as this is how you retain your strength and control over your own life.